I'm Daniel Wexler, and I'm here to help you understand Russia better and without bias. The US and Great Britain are historically and geopolitically natural enemies of Russia. In the early part of the 1940s, however, Great Britain and the US were strategically allied with the USSR in the struggle against Nazi Germany. Starting in 1941, Soviet intelligence was reporting back to its government that the US and Great Britain were secretly developing an atomic bomb. In the summer of 1941, Nazi Germany invaded the Soviet Union, and as of then, it was clear that after World War II was over, there would be a new world order. The Western powers waited for several years throughout the war to see how things would play out between Germany and the USSR. Just as it had done 130 years previously with Napoleon, and many times before that with other European invaders, Russia and the Soviet Union mounted a heroic resistance of epic proportions. Through the loss of almost 30 million citizens in the course of 4 years, the Soviet Union was able to beat back the Nazis, not only chasing them out of Russia itself, but all the way back to Berlin. It thus became clear to the Western world that in the new world order that would develop after the end of the war, the USSR would, of necessity, play a larger role on the world stage than it ever had before. To intimidate the Soviet Union away from claiming too much territory and too many rights, in the summer of 1945, the United States pulled the trump card and dropped 2 atomic bombs on Japan, one in Hiroshima and another one 3 days later in Nagasaki. The bombs at the time were about 10,000 times less potent than the atomic weapons of today. But the devastation they caused shocked the entire world. The United States succeeded in hijacking the conversation about the new arrangement of power in the world and changing the geopolitical world order forever. To this day, the United States remains the only country in the world to have ever dropped an atomic bomb on another country. The Soviet Union had been developing atomic science since 1930 and had been working on developing its military uses as of the early 40s. But after Hiroshima and Nagasaki, it began taking this task much more seriously, multiplying the pace and manpower behind the project by many times and establishing several research and development institutes. Though much of the German nuclear potential was on the western side, controlled after the fall of Hitler by the United States, the Soviet authorities did manage to bring some of the German equipment left in eastern Germany, as well as some of the scientists who had worked on the German bomb under the Nazis, to help develop a Soviet bomb. By summer of 1949, the Soviet Union conducted its first nuclear bomb test. Join us next time for part 2 of the history of the nuclear bomb in Russia on Understand Russia.